Hello my gorgeous peopleini, my name is Sasha Bonasin and I'm a psychic medium, and these are your weekly horoscope tarot card readings, and they are going to be in between the 16th and the 22nd of May 2022. And of course that at the beginning of this week we are going to have a rather powerful full moon in Scorpio, and I'm saying that this powerful full moon in Scorpio, which is going to happen right at the beginning of this week, it's most certainly and most importantly, it's going to really make this week completely different to what it actually normally would be. We are pretty much so going to wonder quite a lot. We are gonna go rather deep, from the beginning of this week, and this is the energy that the actual full moon in Scorpio is going to create. On one hand, we are gonna go really deep, but on another hand, we will kind of find ourselves like we want most certainly more out of life, and that in itself is also going to really increase our determination when it comes to this week. This in itself is going to make us question a lot, but it's on another hand going to make us to kind of wonder a lot, and that in itself is going to actually have a rather positive effect and impact on our lives, because we are gonna really kind of become unsatisfied with a certain aspects of our lives that we have been unsatisfied before, but now we're gonna have that vavavumish power. We're gonna have that energy to deal with, which is only going to make us even more aware of things that we have already been aware of in our lives, but it's just gonna be on much kind of a larger scale. We're gonna kind of elevate with this, which is gonna really contribute towards us, looking for the life answers, where we're gonna kind of go really, really deep, we're gonna be interested throughout this week when it comes to a very kind of interesting topics, unusual topics, a lot of situations we're gonna go through that are gonna be quite mysterious, but then at the same time we are gonna be enjoying this, and it is going to bring that wonderful essence into our lives. And we are gonna be facing, all of us collectively, the moment, at around the midweek in particular, we're gonna be facing this moment collectively where we are really going to kind of have answers, like lots of answers that we didn't have before, we are going to have now, and the answers that I'm talking about are going to clear a lot of emotional confusion that was holding us back when it comes to carrying on with our lives and doing what we want to do, doing things that meant to us, that are important to us, and things like that. So it's all about establishing all these factors and moving on with our lives indeed. So now I'm going to start with my gorgeous Scorpio. My gorgeous Scorpio. Look, I went on Scorpio. I might as well start with a Scorpio. No, now I'm going to start with my gorgeous Aries. I said Scorpio because it's all about this powerful energy of Scorpio. It's already kicking in. This energy of Scorpio, it's already kicking in, I'm telling you that this full moon is going to be pretty much so very different, because it is, as I said, I'm continuing with that conversation again, but I'm just really kind of picking on this vibe when it comes to the actual moon in Scorpio. It's already out there and it's very powerful, and it is gonna really bring the energy that's needed, bring the energy into our lives that was missing for a very, very long time. So you need to make the most of it. It's going to reflect on your determination, and this is going to give you power. This is going to give you strength to carry on with your life at a time when things are absolutely ludicrous in so many different ways. Make the most of it. So now I'm going to start with my gorgeous Aries, my beautiful Arinis. As I said, this is a weekly horoscope tarot card reading, and it's in between the 16th and the 22nd of May 2022. You are gonna have a very important message, Aries. This week you are going to have a very important message. And this message is just like, you know, going to bring also at the same time such a powerful moment into your life when it comes to a powerful perspective, a brand new perspective, fresh perspectives. Just remember, my gorgeous Aries, it's about the message that you are going to get. And at that moment in time, almost instantly, you will be able to connect with yourself on a very high level. And that in itself is going to really kind of like provide you with a fresh perspective on life, and that in itself it's going to be it's going to start the process of change. And this is why this is so important. What you need to remember as soon as that message arrives, you know, it's not only about how you feel and how remarkable this is actually going to be, the fact that you are going to have the whole new fresh perspective, you know, that it's also coming, but this in itself, it's also going to start the process of this wonderful, powerful and rather delicious change, my gorgeous Aries, indeed. And that it's all going to lead towards the end of the week, where you are gonna have a really brilliant ideas, and otherwise you wouldn't have these ideas that I'm talking about. These ideas are gonna be different, these ideas are gonna feel different, these ideas are gonna be something completely like kind of just kind of like coming out of the blue into your life. So when something just comes out of the blue into your life, you know, this normally happens at the time when you're like kind of meditating, or it's happening at the time when you're like kind of relaxing. It's happening at around the time when you may have a bit of a lucid dreaming, or it's happening at around the time when as soon as you wake up in the morning, you open your gorgeous eyes and you know you're still kind of part of this rather powerful vibration and dimension that, you know, you know quite a lot. Because when we are sleeping, when we are dreaming, you know, we are like kind of aware so much more than we are actually aware of now. Consciously, we may not remember, but it's all about gathering this essence and gathering, kind of getting the most of this energy and vibration when we are kind of in this very deep and powerful state. So when I tell you like that there are certain ideas that you are going to have, like see, but like especially, you know, throughout this week when you wake up in the morning, there is something that is just going to be like a bright, a little shiny star constantly on your mind, constantly on your mind, constantly on your mind. And that one particular thing that it's going to be constantly on your mind is going to evolve into something different, and that something different is going to evolve into something different again, but you just need to give it a time. And what I was trying to say before, it's like when you wake up in the morning, we are still parts of all this. This is a very powerful state and stage that we are at. So we are kind of like a really also at the same time we are provided with this like kind of wise realizations and things that we should do next, things that we should focus on, and also in the terms of the actual ideas, like, oh my lord, this is where they're gonna come from. Not necessarily when you wake up the first thing in the morning, but it's I'm telling you that this is a very powerful state of our mind and of our spirituality. So it's gonna come at the time when you least expect it. You see, when it comes to your own awareness, you open your eyes in the morning and you do not expect that, oh my god, now suddenly something is going to be on your mind, but it feels different. It's very powerful, it's very strong, it's very unique indeed. This vibrational pull, it's going to be absolutely undeniable. So by the end of the week, my gorgeous Aries, it's all about brilliant ideas that are going to pretty much need refinement. So you must not rush with this whatsoever, because at the same time, by the end of this week, you are going to overcome an absolutely enormous obstacle. And that in itself is going to be superb for you, because you will know exactly that the specific things in your life that you were worrying so much, they're actually going to work out pretty well indeed. And also on another hand, you know, this is a superb week, very important week when it comes to you talking and communicating. The more you talk and the more you communicate throughout this week, more you're going to get out of things that you are trying to achieve and out of the things that you are trying to focus on. At the same time, you know, it's important to remain objective. So by the end of the week, you're going to become aware of these ideas, but it's nothing that you have to rush into or anything like that. No, baby, no. This is just the beginning, and it's going to be very delicious later on. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be having a message for, reading for, It's gonna be my gorgeous Taurus, my beautiful Taurinis. It's like, oh my God, be very careful, my gorgeous Taurini, be very careful, because there is going to be some kind of temptation that I want you to be aware of, that you need to be very careful about. My gorgeous Taurinis, be smart, be clever, be intelligent, as you always anyway are. But this is just a little reminder. There is going to be a temptation that you are going to have this week, and you just kind of like you must ignore this whatsoever, because this temptation you will need to basically ignore at all costs. And I think you will know what this is. If you ignore this temptation, this is going to reflect on your life in the best possible way. If you ignore this temptation, you're going to preserve your energy, you're going to preserve your power, you're going to preserve something very special within you, because karmically this is going to be the best possible response. And when you kind of like, you will know what this temptation is, my gorgeous Taurinis, because you will know that if you do this, that you will be a little bit naughty. But then at the same time, you know, sometimes certain things come into our lives and it's just like a little bit of like a kind of testy type of things. Do you know what I mean? In particular, when it comes to challenge, when it comes to karma, these are certain things that are presented in our lives because it's needed from us to respond in our own unique way. And sometimes, my gorgeous Taurinis, just remember, if something sounds too good to be true, then most likely it is too good to be true. But then again, as I said, half of you is going to be kind of aware of this, like a naughtiness at the same time as well. So try to see what this temptation is, and you have to ignore this temptation at all costs. It's going to come to you in so many different ways. It's going to come to you on so many different levels. It's going to come to you through so many different dimensions. So it really depends what this is, but most importantly, you will know what this is. So my gorgeous Taurinis, you have to really ignore this temptation, because this is just almost like a part of the process that you need to go through, part of the challenge that you need to go through, and you will protect your energy. You need, the bottom line is that you will protect your energy so much, and by the end of the week you will know exactly what I was talking about. And also, when it comes to that temptation that I said, you know the actual outcome. It's not only to protect your energy, but it's also to protect something very specific when it comes to your own personal security, when it comes to your financial security. I've got something in my eye. I've got something in my eye. Sorry, my gorgeous Taurini, but something is in my eye. Yeah, so basically this is going to reflect not only on your energy, but it's actually going to reflect on your personal security. So do you know what I mean? When it comes to the actual luxury and prosperous moments in life later on, I'm talking about having extreme comfort when it comes to your life. So there is so much that you're actually going to gain out of it. And there is someone very kind of like a trustworthy in your life as well, who is going to be playing an important role here, because through somebody very kind of like a beautiful and very important and very significant in your life, somebody who you really appreciate, it's also going to inspire you so beautifully in order to understand which part of your life at this moment in time do you need to kind of sacrifice. And by the end of the week, my lordy lord, you're gonna have a bit of like a deep psychic insight here. And this is so brilliant, because that in itself is going to really make you wonder, and it's gonna put you in the state of like being kind of uncertain. You know, it's about making an important decision, but it's just all about you kind of like taking care of yourself in the best possible way by trusting your intuition and following your heart as well. This is a very important week for you, my gorgeous Taurinis, indeed. The next sign that I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be my gorgeous Gemini, my beautiful Geminini. What is going to happen to you this week? Oh my God. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. You know, this week you need to remember that you're gonna have a bit of a distraction. This is a bad mama, this one is. You see, it's a bit of a temporary distraction, but it's gonna be quite heavy. And it's like energetically and spiritually, you know, when it's heavy, when something is so heavy, when it comes to the actual distraction, we learn so much more out of it. But you also need to understand that it's life. It's gonna be so much shorter, you know, it's this energy, it's gonna like kind of be around you for a very short amount of time. But it's all about how you're gonna respond to this and how you're gonna respond respond to this situation, how you're going to react to this situation. Just remember, it is a temporary distraction that you are going to have, and this temporary distraction, it's also like kind of going to bring just a little bit of delay when it comes to the change that you wanted to make. So you just need to be patient, my gorgeous Gemini. You are going to be absolutely fine. Just remember this. This is the temporary distraction, but it's to do with an important part of your life when it comes to you stepping on one hand towards the unknown, doing what you want to do exactly, but also knowing at the same time the time is very sacred and the time is very precious. And you know, and sometimes you just kind of like there is no point to rush with the certain things in life, because you know, it all depends when we do them, how we feel, what the next step is going to be, and how we respond to kind of challenges around us. So the temporary distraction that you are going to have is just basically going to kind of like really it's to do with your devotion, it's to do with your life, it's to do with the next step, but it's also, the bottom line is to do with the change. Almost it's like, oh God, it's going to take slightly longer. No baby, no, you must stay strong at all costs. You must stay strong whatsoever the weirder things are around you, the weirder things you become aware of, the weirder things you hear, the more be happy with yourself that you are able to recognize this, you're able to realize this, you're able to be open to this in your own unique ways, through your own wisdom. So my gorgeous Gemini, it's just like this temporary distraction, of course, is to do with a change, but it is going to cause a bit of like, kind of like, it's a lot to do with like a kind of like a financial situation, your success and things like that, but it's only temporary. So this is what you need to remember. That in itself, where the gorgeous like a full moon Scorpio comes in, you know, this is the energy that is just like going to come into your sign, my gorgeous Gemini, and it is going to bring a little bit of like an emotional distraction. So now, you know, what you need to remember, you know, that this will remind you exactly what do you need to do, you know, where do you need to be, and what exactly part of your life do you need to kind of invest in. But also this is going to remind you that you, above all costs, it's not only about investing like into life, like which part of your life do you need to invest, like your devotions, this is important indeed, but there is a bit more going on when it comes to you, my gorgeous Gemini, because it's all about this actually remind you on an emotional level, that this will remind you that you have to be honest with yourself above all, about everything else. This is a very important indeed, you know. Make sure that you are being honest with yourself, because if you're not being, because you're going to be facing the certain situation and it's going to require your response, and this is when you need to remember to be honest with yourself. This is very important, and it's part of your karmic mama, biggest mama, like huge mama, karmic mama here. Because if you kind of like, almost as if you are going to be dealing with certain documents or something like that, something really important, and then almost that you're going to like want to like lie a little bit, not lie, I'm not saying you lie, but almost as you're going to want to be like a little bit naughty or something, and then suddenly, you know, you need to remember that you have to be honest with yourself the way you're going to respond to this, because it's going to get back to you, and then it's just like kind of going to be haunting you later on. So this is very important for you to remember, my gorgeous Gemini, indeed. Okay, so the next sign that I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be my gorgeous Cancer, my beautiful Cancerini. It's like, oh my God, you know, this full moon in the actual Scorpio that we are going to have at the beginning of this week, it's also going to have an absolutely enormous effect and impact on you, because it's going to kind of make you quite emotional, and it's also kind of going to make you like be very open towards the right, real people in your life who means to you so much. So you're going to find yourself like wanting to kind of like really gift people who mean to you so much. You will be able to recognize how important they are to you, and this is a very important part of our all lives, you know, and the people who are very sacred to us, people who are really important to us, you know. This is brilliant, because this is all kind of coming from you and the genuine feelings and genuine emotions, and it's also going to people who are genuinely loving you and who are genuinely interested in you. So don't be surprised if you kind of feel a little bit emotional emotional, throughout this week by wanting to share little gifts with the people in your life. If you feel like you should do that, that's exactly what you should do, because these people that I'm talking about are going to be playing an important role in your life. And there is somebody who's so close to you, the family member or really great friend, who is actually going to point you out towards the specific situation in your life, which you will want to find out a little bit more. And then this is also going to open your eyes, and it's going to be brilliant, because it's all about the actual ideas that are going to come out of it when it comes to an ongoing problem, when it comes to you, and also like where you have found yourself like really slowed down quite a lot, and your life was affected by things that haven't had anything to do with your life in particular, but now it's time to come out of it. It's very important for you to remember. What also is going to happen to you, my gorgeous Cancerini, it's about the actual mistake. There is a little mistake that you keep on blaming yourself, something to do with the past. Something that happened in the past, the certain mistake. This is going to be on your mind quite a lot, almost if you're going to blame yourself, like, oh God, why did I do this, why did I do that? Something that you've done in the past that you almost like, not that you can't forgive yourself as such, but you just like kind of wish that you did kind of like take a slightly different road, or that you went like a slightly different way around and things like that. So some kind of mistake is going to bounce back like a big mama. Some mistake is going to bounce back, and and this is like a little mistake really that you are kind of like keep on blaming yourself for. But then again, the same mistake is going to be superb, like it's going to be so superb for you. It's going to be really beneficial for you, because you are suddenly it's going to start to get you, it's going to start to like kind of like this thinking process, and that thinking process is also on one hand, it's going to like really inspire you, because you will have a little taste of what your life will be. Suddenly there is going to be this psychic moment that you are going to have through that as well. But then again, at the same time, this is going to come to you at the time when you are going through some kind of meditation, or it's going to come to you at the time when you're not thinking about it. Something is just going to come to you completely out of the blue. And this is what the full moon in Scorpio it's also going to do. When you are subconscious, we are very powerful, and this is just like kind of so much more that we gain out of it that we would normally actually get. So or probably through your dreams it's going to come to you, or you will wake up in the morning, one of the days you will wake up in the morning, and then suddenly you are just not going to kind of like be able to kind of like ignore these feelings and emotions like that you're going to have, and you will see that this was all connected to that mistake that you have made in the past. And if you didn't think about it, if you didn't focus on it, you wouldn't get to this where you're going to get now. So that is just all going to lead towards you like waking up one morning, and this is suddenly going to be on your mind, like almost like you're going to feel something from the future, you're going to feel something from the near future, and this is brilliant, because this is exactly what you need, because now that in itself is going to be playing a huge role by the end of the week, because you are going to be able to recognize exactly what do you need to do in order for once to make an ultimate huge massive change. This is going to make you feel so good about yourself. It's going to make you feel so fulfilled. It's going to like bring up all the capability of yours, things that you love doing, things that you love expressing yourself with. You will just want to take this on the next level. This is going to be really rewarding in itself, but then at the same time, this is going to bring you success. So this is what you need to pay attention to, my gorgeous Cancerinis. This is very important, because you will see that, by the end of the week, there is going to be a very wise choice that you are going to make. And this wise choice is going to bring you like such an enormous recognition, success. This is all about you having your own personal award, but at the same time, it's about your life, having like a promotion, really, and going on the next level. This is absolutely brilliant. This in itself is going to bring you a huge victory into your lives. Okay, very, very important indeed. So now, I'm sorry. So the next sign that I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be my gorgeous Leo. My gorgeous Leone. This is in between the 16th and the 22nd of May 2022. So of course that you are going to be facing a certain difficulty. But before I go there also, my gorgeous Leone, you know what this full moon in Scorpio is going to bring when it comes to you, because I'm keep on talking about the full moon in Scorpio that we are going to have on the 16th of May. This is going to be huge, really powerful full moon, and it's going to like kind of get us thinking, it's going to kind of get us going, it's going to kind of help us to go to the deepest parts of ourselves, but we need to go there in a little bit of shadow in order to bring the light. Only we can do this, no one else can do this for us, you see. So this is why this is important to say, my gorgeous Leone, you will be facing a certain difficulties at the beginning of the week, you know, to start with, you will be facing a little difficulty, but this difficulty is just really going to be also directly connected to your own determination, because suddenly it's going to be like, pam, 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 I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to live like this anymore. You're going to find yourself like on a really powerful spiritual quest where you will kind of want completely more out of life. Nothing like kind of for the first time it's going to take place, but it's just going to happen at a time when you need this determination, because it's going to bring you like, not only it's going to make you feel even more determined. So this is like a bit of a blessing here. As soon as you're facing the certain difficulty, my gorgeous Leone, at the beginning of the week, as soon as you're facing the certain obstacle, you need to understand that this is something that you need to go through in order to go forward with your life, because it's like to do with the unresolved part of your life that has been hanging for a while now, and now you need to do something about it. So instead of like, you know, having a difficulty after this moment in time, this is actually going to bring you the great determination. It's going to bring you hope. It's going to bring you faith. It's going to bring you such a powerful inspiration, because by the midweek, you are going to come across really, first of all, you're going to have an important message, and that message is going to make you aware of the bright prospects. And these bright prospects, you know, really interesting indeed. This is only going to be like a couple of bright prospects in your life, and you will know that it's very strongly connected to mixing of the past and present, but then at the same time your own optimism is going to be talking to you, and there is going to be a sign, there is going to be very special sign from the universe that you're going to have, and this is going to be very unique to you. So you will know that this is going to be so important, something that you have to do in order to have the greatest fulfillment in your life. This is something that is going to bring you satisfaction, pleasure, and happiness above all, my gorgeous Leones. This is very important, and it's not only about this bright prospect, couple of bright prospects, you know, it's around the midweek, but by the time you get to the last part of this week, you know, there is someone very special who is about to enter your life, who is going to inspire you even more at a time when you least expect it, and then you're going to become aware of other things that are connected to these bright prospects, almost like, oh my god, by the end of the week, because of that person, this is going to go on the level from 7 to 777. You know, it's going to jump quite a lot, and sometimes people don't realize how important certain people are in our lives and what exact role they actually play. It's all about their vibration, and it's all about their energy, and it's like, oh my lord, if you're inspired by someone in the right way, you're already half away there, and the other half is just going to also make you aware of like a brilliant success ahead of you that you wouldn't normally kind of be able to recognize, but also at the same time it's just going to be highly connected to your spiritual enlightenment, because suddenly, you know, you're going to have this kind of like a really beautiful spiritual freedom around you that it's going to take over, and it's going to become your guiding light, and then suddenly you're going to feel even more like, oh, I want to do this, oh, I want to do that, and that going to be like a couple of things that you're going to be facing, like, oh my god, like a certain obstacle, uncertainty when it comes to the near future planning, but you're going to be absolutely fine. What you need to do to remember to be proud of yourself, because you are remarkable indeed. Okay, so the next sign that I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be my gorgeous Virgo. My gorgeous Virgolini, this is in between the 16th and the 22nd of May 2022. Just remember this is going to be really strange and unusual and rather bizarre week, my gorgeous Virgolini. It's all about you moving on with your life, but it's all about you establishing exactly what readjustment do you need to make. This is so important because it's to do with the priority that's just just change slightly. There are certain priorities that change slightly. They stayed exactly where they are. You will do exactly what you wanted to do. But then again, at the same time, a remarkable readjustment is needed because the priorities slightly change. So this is something that you really need to remember, especially when it comes to the actual midweek, where someone is going to get in touch with you and they're going to let you know the specific information, and that specific information, it's only going to highlight what I just said. There is no need to panic, nothing negative, nothing horrible, no baby, no, but it's just something that is being awfully prolonged for a long time. And it's not even that you've done something wrong or anything like that. It's just that someone else has been involved in your life with this situation that kind of prolonged things a little bit. So you don't need to kind of overreact or anything like that. You don't need to kind of like overreact in any way, really. What all you need to do is just beautifully and wonderfully, in a very divine way, you know, your life is just going to kind of readjust itself by itself already, but this is only kind of going to require just a little bit of your own concentration, just a little bit of your own attention, in order to be able to give a credit to yourself how amazing and wonderful you are, to stop for a second and look what you have achieved in your life, and now just carry on. The breaks and pauses are very important when it comes to our personal balance. On another hand, let me tell you something, let me tell you something, let me tell you something, Virgo. You don't want to make a useless sacrifice. You don't want to make a useless sacrifice. No, baby, no. Listen to me very carefully, my gorgeous Virgolinis. This is very important. This week is going to be really deep, of course, because we are having a full moon in the zodiac sign of Scorpione. This is going to get us thinking. This is going to get us going, and this is going to help us to go to the deepest parts of ourselves where we need to go in order to highlight the certain things in life that we need to deal with. But what you need to remember, this is very important, my gorgeous Virgolini, it's something that's going to take place at the beginning of the week, and you must remember this. Do not make a useless sacrifice. Do not make a useless sacrifice, my gorgeous Virgolinis, okay? It's a little bit to do with like just a bit of a moment of your own temptation here as well. So it's to do with a little bit of temptation, but it's all going to lead towards you kind of like making a useless sacrifice. So you need to see what this is. What you need to remember, my gorgeous Virgolini, at all costs, do not make a useless sacrifice. So if someone is trying to make you to do something, or if someone is kind of trying to push you towards something, or if someone is just trying to be like really too much, and you can kind of like, oh, someone is just being pushy towards something, you know, you most certainly and most importantly, you will be able to understand this and recognize, because it's to do with a useless sacrifice. Do not make a useless sacrifice whatsoever, my gorgeous Virgolini. I do not know how much to stress how important this is. You need to slow down just a little bit, because you don't have to make, because you do not need to make this useless sacrifice. So as I said, you need to slow down a little bit. This useless sacrifice is just going to come in like, you know, this is a very dark little sacrifice that is going to come like make you feel falsely like, oh, something is going to be quicker if you do this, you're going to speed things up. No, baby, no. Just remember, this is what you need to remember, to not make the useless sacrifice. This is very, very important. Please, 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 I hope you remember this, because by the time you get to the actual midweek, bam, bam, bam. By the time you get to the midweek, the universe is about to send you a very unique message. The universe is about to make you aware of something so special in your life. The universe is about to make you aware of something so brilliant, something so unique, something so powerful, and that in itself is actually going to be like consisting of you really opening your eyes, having a very much so an important vision within yourself, which is going to lead towards an absolutely mind-blowing idea. This idea is so important. So just remember, it is going to be very unique and very unusual message from the universe. The universe is going to be communicating you in a really strange and bizarre ways. At the same time, pay attention to the numbers before that, which will be 13, 13, or 333, or 111, or 777. Any combination of these numbers, it's already going to kind of like make you aware of, to be prepared for that moment before you actually have this message from the universe. This is going to be one of the greatest guidance you have had in a long time, and even you actually one of the most powerful guidance from the actual universe in itself in an absolutely long time. And even if you don't become aware of these numbers, it doesn't really matter whatsoever. You're going to be absolutely fine. You're still going to have that sign from the universe, which is going to be very unique, and it's going to all boil down towards an important idea. This is all going to resolve in an idea which is going to make you feel very active. It's going to make you feel alive again, my gorgeous Virgolini. I'm not saying that you weren't alive, but you will see exactly what I mean, because the determination that is going to come out of it, it's going to be absolutely deniable, and you will know exactly that you know what the next step is going to be. So not only like about the idea, you will know that you need to be quite analytical, but at the same time you will almost instantly going to become aware of that you have got the necessary experience, because you're going to be doubting yourself. You will see the situation you're going to be facing this week. You will be doubting yourself, but you do, my gorgeous Virgolini, need to understand that you do have the necessary experience, because something is going to become available to you, something is going to become offered to you, and then at the same, as in terms of the actual opportunity. But it's almost that you're going to be saying to yourself, oh, I'm not too sure if I'm ready, and blah blah blah. No, baby, no. If you don't jump in the water, you will never learn how to swim. Now it's time again to jump in the water, my gorgeous Virgolinis. This is very important indeed. And also at the same time, you know, by the end of the week, you are going to come across some mind-blowing epiphanies that are most certainly going to lead to such an important opportunities. And the plans, oh my God, the plans that you are going to have this week are going to work absolutely perfectly. Just remember this, my gorgeous Virgolinis. The plans that you are going to have this week are going to work absolutely perfectly. When something so big is happening in our lives, when something so enormous and important is unfolding in our lives, it's natural to question things, and it's natural to kind of think, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. But then, you know, just remember, my gorgeous Virgolini, one step at a time, because there is going to be certain plans on your mind, and it's almost like, oh my God, I'm not too sure about these plans. No, baby, no. The plans that come to you this week that you feel so inspired about, you will know what I mean. This is going to feel so different, but you're still going to be like, oh, I'm not too sure. Just remember that these plans are going to work out absolutely perfectly. So just go for it. Okay, so the next sign that I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be my gorgeous Libra, my beautiful Libra. This is in between the actual 16th and the 22nd of May 2022, and you know, you are going to find yourself, you know, just remember, my gorgeous Libra, that this week is starting with a full moon in Scorpio on the 16th of May. So this is going to be a very powerful week. We're going to feel really, really deep. We will feel like we want more out of life, and especially when it comes to you, the way this is going to hit you is going to hit you a little bit different. At the beginning of the week, you are going to find yourself being very, very indecisive. But before that indecisiveness, there is a special message that you are going to have at the beginning of the week. And that message is going to make you aware of additional things, you know, going that you weren't aware of, nothing to do with your life. But this is going to be important because it's going to get you thinking, it's going to get you going, and it's going to make you feel like very, very indecisive indeed. That in itself is going to start a process of change without you even realizing. So when you find yourself being really indecisive at the beginning of the week, you know, and this is all about your personal security, it's all about your finances, it's about your financial situation, it's about your future planning, and it's also like the bottom line is, it's a lot to do with your personal stability. You know, this is like a pretty much so going to by the time you get to the actual midweek, you are gonna have a like pretty much so complete and rather sudden change here, and this is gonna really surprise you. This change that is going to happen is gonna throw you out of the balance a little bit, but then again, this is gonna happen completely unexpectedly. It is going to kind of affect your energy levels a little bit in terms of like, oh my God, you're just gonna be a little bit worried here, but this is like probably one of the best things that could have possibly happened, because this complete and sudden change at around the midweek, it's like going to leave you with no choice, with no option but to just basically carry on with your life. It's going to leave you with no option but to focus on things that make you feel good, to focus on things that make you feel optimistic, and to focus on what the next step is going to be, and the way you're going to feel by the end of the week, what the next step is going to be. You know, it's going to feel different, because now suddenly you will realize how much you changed, how much you grew spiritually, but then also, you know, you will kind of understand that what happened at around the midweek, oh my God, this is actually great. You know, you will kind of see the reason why this happened. You will kind of become aware of the hidden meaning behind it, you know, on a very deep and spiritual level. So this is something that I'm talking about, that is going to be absolutely brilliant, because on one hand, it's like really, you will realize that your life was pretty much a little bit negative up until this moment in time. And every time when you were like kind of really happy and optimistic, you know, there was this element of your life that was really draining your energy. So now you will have the opportunity to move away from it, but also on another hand, you will learn a very powerful spiritual and important lesson here. This is, you know, like basically going to make you aware of, like, you know, my God, like this definitely happened for a reason, you know, and you will know by the end of the week what this reason is, and that in itself is going to bring you hope and faith and inspiration and a bright prospect into your life, especially the last couple of days this week. Just pay attention to this bright prospect that are about to kind of enter your life. You know, couple of new things, couple of new options, couple of new opportunities. It's only going to seem like something, you know, really like not as big, not as important, but then as the time goes by, within the next 2 or 3 weeks, there is so much that is actually going to come out of it. You will find yourself on a new path, and you're going to love this so much, my gorgeous Libra. My goodness. Okay, so the next sign that I'm going to be talking about, of course, it's going to be my gorgeous Scorpione. And I say this because this is going to hit you like the biggest mama. And once you get hit by the biggest mama, nothing is ever the same again, okay? Now, my gorgeous Scorpione is just basically, I'm saying this, obviously, if you watch the beginning of this video, it's like, you know, it's about the full moon in Scorpione. It's your Scorpione. You're a big mama in all this, because it's going to affect you like a more than everybody else. So the full moon that we have in Scorpio at the beginning of this week on the 16th of May is just pretty much so gonna affect you on a very deep and spiritual level. It's really going to affect you. You're gonna go very deep, and that in itself, it's going to really help you to reconnect with yourself. It's gonna help you to kind of like see exactly which routes do you need to explore. Suddenly you're gonna have a very strong like kind of connection with yourself, with your spirituality, like with your like ancestors. And there is something so interesting that you're actually going to find about one of your ancestors, and the way you're gonna find this out is going to be completely out of this world, like literally, but at the same time it's going to open your eyes, and it's also kind of going to kind of point you towards the certain specific direction. On one hand, it's going to be confirmed to you something very unique about yourself, that this is the right thing to do. But on another hand, the whole new path, it's about to be highlighted as well. What you should do, where you should go. You're gonna have this absolutely mind-blowing little guidance, you know, from the actual ancestors in your life, and it's gonna happen to you in the way that you would never possibly imagine that this can happen to you. But what you're gonna get out of it, the understanding, it's gonna be remarkable, because it's going to really point out your own greatest uniqueness about yourself. Baby, it's time to take it on the next level. It's about your own uniqueness, and that really much so, that particular essence is going to strengthen you. That essence is going to empower you. That essence is going to rejuvenate you. That essence is going to really make you aware of how different you are. But how different you are, this is where your power is. The more you're aware of how different you are, the more magnetic you become. So this week, my gorgeous Scorpione, you're going to be completely magnetic. Okay, your energy is going to be very strong. So when it comes to you projecting things on people, they're going to feel like so strongly. So if you have like a kind of go at someone this week, you know, they're going to be like, oh my God, please stop it. I can't take it, you know, like, you know, it's going to feel very strong. But I wouldn't want you to waste this energy on having a go at someone. But also if you project this energy towards your own spirituality, towards things that you are doing, towards things that you want to achieve, you will see like how many ideas you are going to have in terms of the actual energy, vibration, and the actual power. Remarkable. What you need to understand also, my gorgeous Scorpione, that you know, you are at the beginning of the week, you're gonna have a very strong desire, very powerful and very strong desire to recover what is lost. Okay, just remember this, my gorgeous Scorpione. This is like really important big mama coming in and saying, listen to me, my darling. Oh God, I'm crazy, I know, but you know, you are going to have a very strong and powerful desire at the beginning of the week to recover, you know, what is lost. I know it sounds like, oh my God, no baby, no, this is your big mama talking here. This is the part of your spiritual journey. This is the part of your progress. It's something that you must not ignore at all costs. You know, this is important. So at the beginning of the week, you're going to have a strong desire to recover what is a lot. And that is going to put you like in a bit of an indecisive moment. But a couple of days after that, you're already going to make a really important decision. You are going to make an important decision, and this is the reflection of your life and things that have been driving you like, oh no, you know, over the last 2 months in particular, you know. So there is an important decision that is going to be made, and this is not just like, oh my God, this is a very strongly connected to your destiny. Yeah, my baby, this is very connected, this is very strongly connected to your destiny, fate, you know, fortune. But at the same time, you know, you are gonna have a really a completely mind-blowing, unexpected event which is going to occur at around the midweek. This is something that you're going to find completely mind-blowing. This is something that it's really going to surprise you. This is something that you would never, ever, ever be able to guess whatsoever. No matter how psychic you may be, no matter how open you may be, you know, that the specific things in our lives that are only going to arise at the moment in time when we are really surprised by it, because otherwise it would be too weird. So by us being surprised by this, you know, we learn a lesson in a very unique way that we are never ever going to forget. And this is something that we must know, that you must not ever forget, because this is a strong part of you. You're going to learn through this quite a lot, but it's also very much so and it's undeniably you know, remarkable moment in time that is going to be connected to your turning point. This is only the beginning, my gorgeous Scorpione. So you need to be as open with yourself as you possibly can. So there is going to be an unexpected event which is going to occur, and once this happens, you know, an unexpected event, you know, this is really going to surprise you. No matter how many times you try to think what it's going to be, it doesn't really matter. This is going to come and happen unexpectedly. Something is going to blow you away, and it's going to surprise you so much in a good way at around the midweek. First of all, you're going to get a little message and information, and after that moment in time, this is when this is actually going to take place without you realizing, without you knowing. And what this unexpected situation is going to do, it's going to, you know, on one hand, an important conclusion, like, oh my God, it's going to come out of it. But then on another hand, you will see that you're approaching the end of an absolutely such a long problem. So this is what I really like about it. This is what's really strong, and this is what is really powerful. And also, on another hand, it's going to take exactly 27 days after that moment in time. After 27 days, there is going to be quite a nice little opportunity for you with two directions connected to it. And both of these directions you need to take on, because when you do this at the same time, this is something that you need to do. This is something that you have to do. It's almost like you're going to be facing two different directions, and you're going to think, I'm going to do this now, I'm going to do this now. No, baby, no. You take both on. This is exactly what I'm talking about here. And also, someone is actually going to make your heart like really flatter, like big time when it comes to this week. You need to pay attention to it. Just remember, my gorgeous Scorpione, that someone is going to make your heart flatter, and you have to pay attention to it. Why? How do you feel exactly? Because that in itself, it's really kind of like going to show the whole new love that is about to enter your life. When I say the whole new love that is about to enter your life, I don't mean like oh, he's gorgeous, oh, she's gorgeous. I don't mean about the person, sorry. I mean something so great, really great aspect of your life that is energetically going to become such a huge part of your life in terms of you loving it so much. So this is why you need to focus and pay attention to it, indeed. So the next sign that I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be my gorgeous Sagittarius, my beautiful Sagittarians. It's like, oh my god, this is of course at the beginning of the week we are having a really powerful full moon in the zodiac sign of Scorpione, which is what I said. So it's important to mention this because the energy is going to be so strong. It's going to reflect on the whole week. The certain signs have got such a strong and powerful energy around them, so when it comes to the actual full moon, we can feel this projection on us, and it changes quite a lot because it makes us think, it makes us wonder, and it's also something it's going to be on your mind quite a lot. And at around the beginning of this week, you're going to find yourself being really indecisive, but then at the same time, that indecisiveness is going to help you to reconnect with yourself, because on one hand you will remind yourself how things used to be, on another hand you will be able to get a little flavor when it comes to your future without even realizing there is something that is going to start, there is something that is going to be guiding you, there is something that is going to play such a huge role when it comes to you keeping going at a time in your life where things may be a little bit uncertain and rather difficult. The more uncertain and difficult is around you, the more the more you need to be happy with yourself, and you need to become aware of your own blessing. What you understand and what you are aware of, this is your blessing in itself. And what this is most certainly going to become aware of this week. Indeed, because it's all about your own security here, stability, and the finances that are going to be much better after this moment in time, because you are going to make a really important decision by the end of the week as well. And I really like this so so much. On another hand, my gorgeous Sagittarini, at the beginning of the week, oh, little dark Lala comes in like at the beginning of the week, you've got a bit of like a sudden collapse of plans, okay, my gorgeous Sagittarini, I want you to listen to me very carefully. At the beginning of the week, you are you're going to become aware of the certain news, certain message, and then this is going to be quite unexpectedly. This is going to happen quite unexpectedly. Oh my God. And then you're going to blame yourself. Oh my God. You're going to blame yourself like you failed to face reality at a certain time before. So it's like you are kind of like really blaming yourself for the certain little mistake that you made in the past. It doesn't really matter, because things are going to bounce back and things are going to come back. If we need to work on it karmically, it's going to come back. And now this is all going to be connected to it, because the first news that you're going to have, it's going to make you aware of sudden collapse of plans, and that in itself, believe me or not, is just really going to make you go really deep. And first of all, it's really going to kind of like throw you out of balance a little bit, but you will know that after this moment in time, to make the most out of your life, this is actually going to work really brilliantly for you. All you need to do is follow your intuition, follow your heart, my gorgeous Sagittarini, because this in itself is also going to not only kind of test your power, but it's actually going to bring you strength into your life, because now suddenly you're going to become aware of the certain plans. You're going to think about the certain plans, like what you need to do, like a new plans are going to come forward, and that in itself is going to be brilliant for you, because it's about to bring you strength into your life. It's just all about the actual sudden collapse of plan. First of all, as I said, it's really going to kind of, oh my God, going to throw you out of the balance a little bit, but then a couple of days later you will see, oh, thank God it actually happened, because it's to do with the part of your life that was draining you so much. It was draining you so badly, but for some reason maybe you were just really worrying worried to make the necessary kind of change or make the necessary adjustment because of the certain mistake that you've made in the past was still kind of like holding you down, and it made you feel like really, it threw you out of balance in such a way where you are just kind of doing things because they're known to you, they're familiar to you, and you know this is okay, but now it's time to go on the next step. So that means that you were really kind of held down, and that almost like your hands were like really at the back like this, so you were like kind of way too frequently restrained. So now you need to establish what this is, and exactly how you're going to establish is about this sudden collapse of plan. You will see that this is for the best because you were way too much frequently too restrained. So this is important. You need to understand, my gorgeous Sagittarini, I said this so many times, we are 10, we are 20, we are 30, we are 40, we are 50, we are 60, we are 70, we are 80, we are 90. This life goes like this. We live many lives, you know, but the life on the earth is like really complex and it's really bizarre, but we have chosen that life ourselves anyway, you know. So it's all part of our energetic process, where our spirit is, where our spirit needs to be, where our spirit needs to go. So we are facing these challenges. So it's all about your energy and the way you respond to it. You know, if something makes you feel really optimistic, then you know it's good, obviously. If something makes you feel really bad, then it's like, no baby, no, don't waste your energy, you know. So this is actually going to bring you a remarkable strength, and also it's going to bring this process of release from bondage, you know, and the beginning of an important understanding. You know, this in itself is going to start the process of you reaching towards an enlightenment, you know, and that in itself, it's really going to provide you with a choice at the end of the week. So you must not make an unwise choice. You know, there is another thing that I want to say to you, that, you know, when it comes to that choice at the end of the week, do not make an unwise choice. And the unwise choice can only come from maybe somebody who's like a little bit dishonest around you. So you need to also see like kind of who doesn't make sense around you when it comes to this week, who is dishonest like literally around you, because you're gonna like kind of through that vibration you're gonna become aware of the certain lies and dishonesty. So this is also gonna be playing an important part here. So when it comes to like kind of not making a wise choice, making an unwise choice, this is like connected to like a certain person whom you are gonna be able to recognize the face beyond, the face they were kind of carrying type of thing, you know. So that's why I'm talking about this unwise choice is connected to not your future, not your kind of like a success, not your finances. This is to do with something else that is probably going to be connected to someone who is like recommending some kind of choice to you or something, and then you need to kind of like, you will know that something is not right, oh, it just doesn't feel right. Well, there you go, my baby. If something doesn't feel right, then you're just like, bye darling, see you later. Do you know what I mean? So this unwise choice that is going to come through someone like connected to the certain lies, you will feel this, you will know this, because I know that you will be able to kind of see the face beyond the face that they're carrying. So just be able to kind of see the snake where the snake is, be able to kind of to avoid the snake where the snake is. If you know that the snake is in the grass, why do you walk barefoot? You see what I mean? So this is important. So it's all about the actual, by the end of the week, you know, it's to do with the endings that are leading to new beginnings, you know. You're also going to become aware of by the end of the week that you need to release situations and people that are holding you back, because you're going through your own spiritual transformation, and the full moon in Scorpio, it's even more going to kind of push you towards like working on yourself and working on those parts of yourself that are really kind of like creating so much of an emotional confusion. Only we can deal with parts of with these very sacred parts of ourselves, you know, when we are ready, you know. So now you will be ready. So now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be my gorgeous Capricorn, my beautiful Capricornius. This is in between the 16th and the 22nd of May 2022. So this is going to hit you like a big mama. This week is going to hit you like there is no tomorrow, you especially, when it comes to the full moon in Scorpio that we are going to have on the 16th of May. And I'm keep on talking about it quite a lot, but this is a very powerful full moon. This is a different full moon, and it's going to make us going to kind of get us going. It's going to get us, you know, like kind of like to reconnect with ourselves, and it's gonna start sadly at the beginning of the week, where we feel like kind of we want to explore, we like the certain parts of ourselves that we haven't been wanting kind of to explore. It's going to kind of bring you towards the deepest deepest parts of yourself in terms of like, you know, your own progress. This is something exactly what you should be doing at this moment in your time, because, you know, there's a certain emotional confusion that you have been through over the last 12 months, and they've created karmic like endings that are now you're gonna need to be kind of able to face. So you're gonna find yourself being very deep emotionally, spiritually, and then suddenly you're gonna be thinking about a certain parts of your life, and it's gonna be more of like kind of like a, oh God, uncertainty, and more of like kind of like kind of more uncertainty than certainty. A lot is gonna kind of not make sense. Please don't, I know it's dark lala at the moment, but it's only at the beginning, you know. A lot is not gonna kind of like really make sense. You're gonna feel like completely thrown out of balance. You're gonna start thinking, but sadly the balance is going to make you kind of focus on more negative and negative things around you than the actual positive. And this is what the full moon in Scorpio is going to do to you. That's exactly what you need to do, because on one hand you need to remember that this is to do with the temporary distraction, but then on another hand this is going to make you aware of the exact temptation that you need to ignore. This is going to make you aware of the certain temptation that you weren't aware of before. Something, you know, there is information that you are going to have at around that time that, you know, you will know, oh my God, it sounds too good to be true, you know. And this information, it's going to provide you with like a kind of some kind of a, no guidance, but it's going to provide you with a resolution. Like if you do this, you know, things are going to happen much quicker, much sooner. No, baby, no. Something in between, something within you, it's going to be telling you to kind of be very careful about it. So this is the temptation that I need you to be aware of, my gorgeous Capricornians. And I really hope that you're going to remember this. At the beginning of the week, there is going to be the temptation. And, you know, if something sounds too good to be true, just stay away from it, move away from it, don't kind of face it whatsoever. This is the temptation that I'm talking about, because sometimes we are under the certain pressure, and when we're under the certain pressure, we respond to the certain situation not in the way we should respond, only because we want the desired outcome in that moment in time. We want to speed things up, we want to speed the process. I'm sorry, but this is not something that you should be kind of doing right now. So you just have to kind of become aware of what this temptation is. You need to recognize this, you need to kind of establish this, and you just need to give it a good kick. No, and you just need to like basically, you know, you need to ignore this at all costs. You need to ignore this temptation, my gorgeous Capricornians, at all costs. This is very, very important indeed, because if you ignore this, you know, the outcome of this temptation is going to be like maybe 2 or 3 days later, you will really make such a mind-blowing decision, and you will surprise yourself. How did you make this decision? But then again, it's to do with that spiritual domino and things happening at a time in our lives when they're meant to be happening. And also on another hand, you know, at around the midweek, there is going to be certain plan on your mind. There are certain plans going to be on your mind, and suddenly you're going to find yourself like really planning a lot, like thinking a lot, being very optimistic. And these plans are not coming just out of the blue. These plans are coming from the deepest part of yourself. They're bringing you an amazing reward, and in exactly 6 to 7 months, you're already going to be able to see the amazing achievements and rewards because you took these plans on. So please do not ignore these moments that you're going to have, like when it comes to like these plans. Plus suddenly you're going to feel like, oh my God, plans, I want to do this, I want to do that. Oh my God, where's this energy coming from? This is what I'm talking about, because you've been working very hard for this. So that's why this week it's also going to bring you an unfoldment, but you have to put yourself first before absolutely anything else. And also, my gorgeous Capricornians, what else I was going to say, you know, it's like you know, you are really, you know, those lies that you're going to become, you're going to become aware of this, you're going to become aware of the certain lies, and also this week. And when I say that you're going to become aware of the certain lies, this is to do with one person that I absolutely don't like, even the group of people, somebody who's like controlling a person or a group of people, or like a group of people who are very controlling. So it's a controlling entity. I don't like this whatsoever. So this lie rise that you're going to become aware of, it's only going to confirm something to you, something very special and something very unique, something that you already knew, but then at the same time it's going to basically remove an obstacle of, like, when it comes to like some kind of timing, you will know exactly how long it's actually gonna when it comes to you, how long it's gonna take until the certain negotiation happens. And this negotiation is going to be brilliant, it's going to be important, and it's going to karmically be connected to you in so many different ways, because this negotiation is to do with the actual your own practicality and things that you love doing, things that you love expressing yourself. It's to do with you, it's to do with your spiritual essence, and you will know what I mean here, because at the same time you're going to have a gorgeous little wings growing here. You know, you are going through a bit of a caterpillar moment at the time, but by the time this week is finished, you know, you are going to become a gorgeous little butterfly, which means that this is all going to be superb week when it comes to business decisions, negotiations, you know, proving yourself, proving your point. And you are also going to be able to prove your point to someone so important to you, and you've been waiting for this moment in time for a long time, and this is going to bring you so much fulfillment, satisfaction, pleasure and happiness into your life, because you will know that you were right all along. This is all going to lead towards the end of the week, you realizing, you know, this is the end of the challenging times, you know, things are like looking up, you know, and this is brilliant because it's about to bring you a welcome relief into your life. So now that is just going to help you to find your way to a very, very peaceful place when it comes to your life, but also, you know, it's the end of like a very sadness, depression, negativity, and it's naturally going to make you understand that the very, very big change in your life, it's absolutely imminent. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about, I have to move all this, I have to move all this, I have to move, I have to move, I have to move all this, 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 da 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 da. My goodness, do you know why? Because I've got like my little forest, I've got like a plants, forest everywhere, so you know there is only a limited amount of like a space on this table that I can actually have, so I'm bringing my gorgeous aquamarine here. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be having a reading for, it's going to be my gorgeous Aquarius. I love you so much. My gorgeous aquamarine. This is in between the 16th and the 22nd of May 2022. And you know, at the beginning of this video, if you did listen my gorgeous voice, you know, at the beginning of this video, I said that on the 16th, we are going to have a super powerful full moon in the zodiac sign of Scorpio. And this one is going to be different. This one is going to be strong. This one is going to be really powerful, because you are going to be left with absolutely no choice but to dig as deep as you possibly can within yourself at the beginning of the week. It's going to reflect on you. It's like, oh my god, on one hand it's going to cause a bit of an emotional confusion, but then on another hand, that emotional confusion that you're going to feel, it's also going to be the way out of so many situations in terms of the actual uncertainty, and in terms of the next step, and in terms of the actual negotiation that you're going to become aware of, like just like by having these feelings, you know, that in itself is going to be absolutely fantastic. But you will know exactly which part of your life you need to slow down with, and which part of your life you need to ignore also in terms of the actual temptation. There is a temptation that you need to ignore so much, because that particular temptation, if you carry on with this, you know, it's something that you're maybe already doing, and it's something that you're maybe in terms of the actual it's to do with the actual things that you may be addicted to a little bit, you know. This is the problem with you aquamarine, not only with you, but it's just like there's some kind of addiction or something that you need to really kind of establish what this is and work on it, because also the full moon in Scorpio is bringing you the power to actually heal yourself. And very beautifully in terms of the actual addictions, maybe you drink a little bit, maybe you smoke a little bit, maybe you do God knows what, you know. But then again, you know, it's just basically, you just need to understand that, you know, there is something really specific that you are going to realize anyway without me telling this to you, because something is going to happen, something is going to take place, and it's just going to make you realize that you don't want this to be part of your life anymore, and you will be able to establish exactly what this is. Maybe it's even maybe a little bit too much sugar, you know what I mean? It really depends what these addictions are, you know, but you will know what is the addictions are, because your body is going to let you know, and then you're going to be like, you know what, I think it's time to stop now. I think it's time to make an adjustment. So it's not only about your body kind of telling you, making you aware of what this is, but it's also about your own ability to actually do something about it, because you elevated that moment in time, and that elevation, it's also kind of gonna, it also makes you aware of like a little bit of like a dark negative energy in your life in terms of blockages, but also it's gonna point out someone really kind of very someone who is like kind of trustworthy in your life, but they haven't been fully trustworthy, you know, as well. So I don't know, so you just need to kind of like basically go along with this, and you just need to really maybe be careful about the certain things you say, you know, because there is a lot going to be happening this week in terms of success and business and the ideas. All these things you only need to say to people who you trust 100%, like fully, like the family members or best friends and things like that. If you're uncertain, then just don't talk, because there is some kind of imposter that is going to be revealed as well this week, and then this is going to surprise you, but then at the same time, this is how you want to protect yourself as well. On another hand, my gorgeous Aquamarini, you are going to be facing an obstacle at the beginning of the week. Okay, that obstacle that you're going to be facing was created by other people, not by you. So now that in itself, it's going to be an important kind of obstacle to deal with, because it's to do with your own kind of stability, it's to do with your finances, is to do with like kind of a luxurious life you're going to have later on. But in terms of the actual stability, in terms of feeling solid, you know, that in itself, you know, the obstacle that you're going to be facing is just like kind of going to make you aware of like some kind of moment where you are part of the competition, almost like as if you are being watched throughout this week. So like, oh my god, don't get paranoid, almost like if you are being watched. So this is like, on one hand, you know, you are going to become aware of that you are like a part of some kind of competition, but on another hand, just keep doing as much as you can. Like, just think like you are watched by someone who's like marking you down, or you're watched by someone who's checking you, but this is going to be great because you know this now, so you make the most of it. Okay, so on one hand, you're going to be kind of like maybe watched, but this is going to be good, so make the most of it. On another hand, you know, you're also kind of gonna there is going to be, you know, the part of the moment here where you will see that you are actually part of the competition. So this is why you just need to kind of give out the most, you know, because, you know, not even this week, but within the next like 2 or 3 weeks after this moment in time, you will know that this week was playing an absolutely giant, enormous role in terms of your own kind of success and in terms of your own achievement, because someone is like kind of watching you, and that's why you need to make the most of it. You need to make the most of it, you know, and you don't know this. You're not going to know this for the next 2 or 3 weeks, but then later you will see an absolutely mind-blowing correlation with what was happening this week. You know, it's all about you just giving your best. It's all about whichever aspect in your life you're facing, just a kind of like whether this is personal, whether this is to do with business, whether this is to do with finances, you always give your best. You give 1000%. I'm not saying that you wouldn't do normally, but I'm just saying that some of the things are going to happen this week where you will kind of be under the false pretend of like, under the false feeling of, oh, you will be able to deal with that later on. No, baby, no. There are certain things that are only going to happen this week, okay? And then, you know, it's going to happen at some moment later on, but it's only this energy, it's only going to take place by the end of the year. So you are going to have a few more months, you know, to kind of pass until you can kind of enjoy that particular moment as well. It's time to prove yourself. It's time to prove your point. It's time to put your foot down without putting your foot down. You know, it's important. So, and this is like also kind of gonna, this is brilliant because you will know that the overburdened feeling is slowly coming to an end, because, you know, excessive pressures and problems are soon about to be resolved. You know, you will have a very, very special and very unique sign from the universe, my gorgeous Aquamarini. You're going to have a very special and very unique sign from the universe that things will be fine. And you will know exactly what to do next. You know, by the end of the week, you're going to have a very special, very unique, very special, very unique sign from the universe. But you will know that this is your sign, and you will also know that this sign is just like kind of, you will know like, oh my God, you know, this is a very special sign, very unique, you know, things are going to be fine. And this is going to mean to you so much, because it's going to be like, oh, thank God for that, you know. But at the same time, you will also know what exactly to do next. Okay, very important indeed. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be my gorgeous Piscelini. My gorgeous Piscelini, you're also going to be hit by this full moon like there is no tomorrow. This reading is in between the 16th and the 22nd of May 2022, and you know that at the beginning of this week, on the 16th of May, we are going to have a full moon in the zodiac sign of Scorpio. This is going to be one of the most powerful and most potent, one of the strongest full moons we had in a long time. This is going to make you go very deep. This is going to make you like kind of, it's going to put you in the deep thinking mode, but it's also going to provide you with an option and opportunity by the end of this week in terms of the actual exploring. Suddenly you will kind of, you know, this is all going to resolve in you wanting to explore something really specific in your life. And before that happens, you are going to have a quite interesting message from someone who's very close to you, from someone who's very important to you. And this is when things are already going to start unfolding, because it's about the inspiration that it's also going to enhance your personal power. And once your personal power is enhanced to this particular level, you know, you will see that, you know, when you have been so indecisive about a certain part of your life, what you want to do, you know, like what you want to do next, you know, like you've been so indecisive about what you want to do next, for example. So then suddenly you make this very strong and powerful decision that really makes you like kind of like be surprised with yourself in the best possible way. But it's all about this feeling of hope and inspiration and the faith that takes over at the time when we kind of least expect it. And this is exactly what is going to happen to you here as well, because you are going to become aware of like a really interesting ideas by the end of the week, you know. And these are not just ideas, but also plans and ideas. These plans and ideas are going to work absolutely perfectly. It's going to work more kind of, it's going to work better than you could possibly imagine. It is going to require further like kind of exploration and further bravery. But then again, you know, just this feelings like for the first time in a long time, you're gonna have these brilliant epiphanies, you know, these visions and these feelings, you know, this week, which are gonna help you to reconnect with yourself. Why? Because you are you're gonna have for the first time in a long time this very powerful essence and connection with your future planning. So it's about this ultimate, you will know like, oh my God, I know that this is gonna bring so much change, and it's gonna get you going, and it's gonna make you feel so optimistic, and it's going to re-energize you, and it's going to make you aware of which part of your life you are boring with, what adjustment you need to make. You know, it's all these things and vibrations then you need to follow and pay attention to. On another hand, my gorgeous Piscelini, you know, you are going to have a bit of an imposter revealed at the beginning of the week, you know, and this imposter that is going to be revealed at the beginning of the week, it's going to really kind of make you kind of understand something really specific here when it comes to the actual part of your life that you kind of haven't been prepared for. It's going to make you aware of the lack of preparation, but then that doesn't really matter, because at the same time this is going to be connected to an unexpected situation which is going to take place, which is going to make you feel rather indecisive, but then it's all going to lead towards you being so inspired, you know, so inspired to move on with your life. You know, it's going to inspire you to move on with your life. And when I say what this is, that is going to become absolutely obvious here. Just because you just follow, you know, your own feelings, your own emotions, and the way you respond to things, this is going to be a guidance. But then again, by the time you get to the midweek, it's about the conclusion, you know, very a powerful conclusion. It's going to come through, it's going to come forward, and that is going to also really play an important role here, because, you know, it's going to inspire you again, but then at the same time it's going to bring you like a determination, it's going to bring you like a really great initiative into your life. It's going to bring a deep emotional feeling, but then again, once you get this personal vibration to such a high and elevated extent, you know, there is so much that you can actually achieve in terms of like beginning things, starting things in your life, but also trusting yourself when you need to trust yourself the most. If you don't trust yourself, no one else is, you know. So this is why what you need to remember. So it's all about this desire and determination and the strong power that you will have, you know, and the goal, you know, that the goal that you will have by the end of the week, it's about a very intelligent choice. Just remember the certain goal you will have by the end of this week. It's not just any goal. This is something really sacred, because it's to do with an intelligent choice, really intelligent choice. And sometimes, you know, no baby, you know, sometimes we don't recognize this as such, you know. So this is why we just need to work on it a little bit, you know, work around it through our own feelings, through our own emotions, you know, by doing things in this life that make sense to us, no matter what's going on, no matter what's happening. You just need to understand that this life, it's really short. We are 10, we are 20, we are 30, we are 40, we are 50, we are 60, we are 70, we are 80, we are 90. Life goes like this, you know. So that's why you need to make the most of it. That's why you don't wait for anything. That's why you don't wait for anyone. These are the feelings that you are going to have. These are the emotions that you're going to have throughout this week, my gorgeous Pisces. So this is why this is so important, because it will enhance your desire for a new venture. Okay, it will enhance your desire for a new venture. Okay, so this is, you know, it's like this is really brilliant, and the next 28 days in your life are gonna be absolutely life-changing after this moment in time. I just want you to remember this, my gorgeous Pisces. Indeed, this will enhance your desire for a new venture, and the next 28 days are going to be mind-blowing, life-changing, because it's all about your turning point that you've been waiting for a long time indeed. People who you trust are going to be playing a massive role. Okay, just remember this. People who you really trust are going to be playing a huge role. Okay, my gorgeous people, thank you ever so, my gorgeous people, Lini, thank you ever so much for watching my videos. I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace and light. So I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace and light to every single one of you. Thank you ever so much for watching my videos. Sasha Bonasin, Psychic Medium. I love you all. Bye.